Chapter 9. Third POV. The tension in the hall was at its peak. Noir, the capped man, was grinning madly after menacing every person present in the room. Shizu took this moment of distraction and unsheathed her sword. With a quick burst, she jumped at Noir with the intent to kill. A single instant later, she traveled across the room and planted her sword toward the man's neck. Fortunately for him, he was able to react. Applying his obsidian dark claw, his grin deepened when he saw the conqueror of flames. Her action sure startled the other adventurers who hadn't dared move. Noir. Kufufufu. Shizu. So you are a demon. Everyone present was shocked and mistook Noir for the demon they were tasked to hunt. However, Shizu narrowed her eyes, and she now has confirmation that this demon is not with the other. Shizu. It's reassuring that they are not working together. Diablo. My, what a wonderful youth, young lady. You are quite skilled for a human, I praise that. Shizu. Well, unfortunately, I don't accept compliments from demons. Grinning, Noir lifted his claw, showing a clear intention of fighting. Diablo. Yes, it's unfortunate that you'll die here. The moment he finished his sentence, Noir vanished from his spot and attacked Shizu. Rimuru POV. The fight between Shizu and the demon continued with claw versus sword. Their raw speed was too fast to be followed by human eyes. Leaving only a trail of the spark behind them, naturally, I can follow them, I am a dragon after all. But I have to say this demon is really strong. Until now he hasn't even shown a bit of seriousness. It's a really good feat when you know that Shizu is one of the strongest humans alive. As for me, I kept a perfect track on the fight. If this demon goes overboard and injures Shizu, I'll lead him alive. Using universal perception, it's an easy task. Rimuru. Still. I don't like where this situation is going. The demon's controlling this place. They're waiting for Shizu to lose her energy so they can use her for an awakening ceremony. I learned from Velzert that a demon can evolve by being named and by making sacrifices. I should just burn this place down. I am sure even my sister will understand. While I was thinking, the fight continued. No one was able to gain the advantage. They stopped for a moment to stare at each other. Shizu then cast a strong fire spell, a flame cannon with her sword as the base. Shizu. I'll end this now. Inferno flames. The huge fireball warmed the room up, and those who were too close immediately stepped back. The other just watched the fight, seeing the gap in power between them. The fireball then made his way toward the demon, who stood still. No, he was even chuckling. As expected, the attack connected. It led to a pretty small explosion and blew up a part of the room. Immediately, my Shizu danger sense activated, and being a dragon, I could see through the smoke. And the demon was perfectly fine, his wings spread, and the grin on his face was filled with malice. Rimuru. Shizu. Shizu POV. After launching Inferno Flames, I was brought back to reality. My magic reserve is not that great, and I already used 90% of my power just to keep up. But this attack should have damaged him at least a little, or so I thought. A shadow could be seen in the smoke. I just had the time to blink when this shadow disappeared. My vision was covered, and all I could see was black. Without me being able to react, the enemy weapon was already in front of me. I was at his mercy. Shizu. Damn it. I closed my eyes, fearing the worst, but nothing happened. Only a weak gust of wind made my hair fly backward. A metallic sound then reverberated across the room. Huh. I reopened my eyes and watched in shock as a small dragon caught the claw with his mouth. Rimuru. Rimuru. Don't touch Shizu. Noir. A dragon. No, this presence. The demon muttered, but this small moment of confusion between the two was enough for me to come back. I shook away the fear I felt earlier and grabbed my sword, jumping back into action. The demon seemed out as he analyzed Rimuru. This is bad. If he takes an interest in Rimuru, nothing good will come out of it. I lunged at the demon, aiming for his arm. Fortunately, he was late to react. My blade connected with the same arm he was using to maintain Rimuru, but something was wrong. Shizu. I can't cut him. Is his arm made of God's steel? I put all my strength in but still couldn't. At best, I made his arm shake. Noir. My, you impress me even more, young human. Shizu. My name is Shizu Demon. Noir. I see. His voice showed no sign of hostility. This took me aback, but I kept my grip strong. This situation might appear hopeless to me, but I am not alone. I have a partner, and this same partner will make us win. Rimuru. Grrrr. Sharpening his fang, Rimuru's eyes glowed pure yellow. A divine energy covered his body, taking the spiritual form of a dragon. This is Rimuru's unique skill. Star Dragon, a mysterious power he awakened a long time ago but was never able to use before recently. The effects are simple. All his abilities are multiplied, and his potential is limited to the number of stars present in the sky. This skill saved us once when we were randomly ambushed by a group of sky dragons, and once again, this skill will save us. With me applying pressure from above and Rimuru inhumanly stretching his arm, the demon was forced to abandon his arm. Let us cut it off. Noir. Kufufufu is truly interesting. Noir POV. Taking a few steps back, I glanced at my tear-out arm. I guess I underestimated them too much, but it's fine. I heard about him, the fifth true dragon and successor of the Star King himself. So this is Rimuru, the Star Dragon. Truly fascinating. He is still young and a child, but his potential has no end. I chuckled a little before returning my attention to the duo. Noir. It seems I have to take my leave now. Shizu. Do you think I will let you? Noir. You don't have much choice. Making my wings stand, I release a wave of magic, preparing to leave. Noir. But since you entertained me, I will let you live a little longer. As the word left my mouth, I felt a small chill running down my spine. I looked at the little dragon inside. I shouldn't provoke them, or I might cause the wrath of the true dragon family. Noir. Young Dragon Lord, I apologize for my action today. I bowed a little. If my guess and expectation are correct, this dragon will soon be the center of all attention. At his side, I will find out the truth of the world, I am sure of it. Why would the unique god himself make him his successor, Kufufufu? I bowed a little, showing my respect toward my future master. Rimuru. Then leave, don't bother us anymore. Noir. Very well, but please remember my name. Rimuru. Don't care. I looked up and quickly flashed a smile before leaving in a trail of darkness. Yes, I shouldn't introduce myself without a name, Kufufufu. I can't wait for our next meeting. Kufufufu. Dirt Pov. After Noir left, Shizu fell on one knee. She was exhausted, having no magic left. Fortunately, Rimuru was there. He quickly went to Shizu and became a support for her. Rimuru. Are you alright? Shizu. Yeah, don't worry, just tired. Even if her expression was hidden by her mask, Rimuru could see and feel it. He teased his head cutely, analyzing the room. The adventurers were nosy, celebrating their victory against the demon. The royalty were smiling, but behind them was pure malice. Rimuru. Shizu, we should leave for now. Shizu. If you say so, I'll trust Rimuru. Nodding. Rimuru used size manipulation. Over the years, he was able to take a gasp over this skill. Even if it's still hard, he can switch his size from a small baby human to a tall human. Another thing is that Rimuru considers size manipulation a skill harder to master than star magic. At his side, Rimuru grew big enough so Shizu could sit on his back. She then straightened her position and looked over at the king, who was alarmed by the sudden show of power from Rimuru. Shizu. The demon has been eliminated. I wouldn't ask for any reward, and there is no need for me here anymore, so I'll take my leave. King. Wait. Shizu. As expected, there is nothing left here. The adventurers will now slowly leave, and their plan will be ruined, but I do plan on coming back to end these demons before they can do more victims. Without waiting for an answer, Rimuru activated the Star Dragon skill and vanished from the room. Leaving everyone confused and shocked at what they just witnessed, Rimuru will later gain a new title. Being an underestimated dragon and constantly in the shadow of Shizu, he was considered nothing but a mere rare pet of Shizu. But now, this fight has proven him to be the mighty dragon at the service of the Mistress of Flames. Orthos Pov. Damn it. This lowly demon dared go on my way. I could have gotten a few strong humans and this little weakling lizard as sacrifices. Minister. My lord, what should we do now? I glanced at one of my subordinates, a greater demon by name. After we took control of the kingdom, I planned to name them after the sacrifices, but it's been wasted now. It has been 2 days since the event happened, and I had to retreat into the underground before things got bad. If I stayed longer, some might become suspicious of me, but I guess this stupid black-haired demon did a good job taking all the blame. Still, I wonder why he was there. Well, those from the black faction are weird anyway. Orthos. Just go search for some random, isolated sacrifice. We can't get it discovered now. Minister. As you know. But suddenly the door burst open, with flames gushing everywhere. When I didn't feel anyone coming, this is bad. I got up and cast a barrier around me, not having the time to protect my 2 subordinates' presence. Shizu. Well, I guess I finally found the secret of filled wood. Orthos. Why you? Shizu. I always thought you were suspicious, but those horns confirm it. I gritted my teeth in anger. We are discovered. No, I need to kill her first, but these flames. She is dangerous. But there is nothing to fear. I am an archdemon, and even our ancestor Rouge will bow to me. Orthos. Kukuku, well, someone of your strength will be a nice sacrifice. Shizu. Talk big, your kingdom is already down. Orthos. What? Shizu. 36. This is the number of demons present, and none of them are there anymore. Orthos. Well, you were able to beat 2 greater demons on the spot. A simple lesser demon won't help much either. I smirked and spread my arm open. I just have to rebuild an army even stronger once I kill her. I am sure many demons will come from her flesh and blood, Kukuku. But wait, didn't she have a lizard always following her? Orthos. Where is your pet? Shizu. My pet. Dirt Pov. Without knowing, Orthos sealed his fate. If there is one thing to not do in front of Shizu, it is to insult her friend. Her kind and neutral eyes turned cold. If her mask wasn't on, she would have frozen the place with a single stare. She drew her sword, and in 2 days she was able to recover, and with Rimuru's help, she is now at 80% of her capacity. But emotion is an unstable power. Rage can give immense power in an illogical way. This is why Orthos stands no chance despite being an archdemon. He woke up to a beast coming right from hell. 10 minutes passed, and Shizu was seen walking out of the secret room. Outside, Rimuru was waiting, sleeping cutely on the ground in his dragon form. Before coming there, they planned everything. Killing the lesser demon was the fastest way, and then Shizu would deal with the 3 big ones. Rimuru already knew they were no match for her, so he just slept. Shizu. Oh, still asleep, huh? Kneeling to his level, Shizu carefully picked him up. Rimuru. Prrrr. Shizu. Even now, she is still very weak to the little dragon's cuteness. He might be ruthless and cold at times due to his draconic nature, but deep inside, he is still a child. Shizu. He, so cute. Patting his head, she felt the natural warmth of his body transmitted to her. And somehow, even in his sleep, his head crept into Shizu's car, not wanting her to stop. Even if she tried to remove him, he would just push further, so they could stay still, not like Shizu minded. In fact, her favorite activity would just be lying on her bed while patting her friend's head. Shizu. We should leave, this place stinks. She muttered while keeping Rimuru tied in her arm. Rimuru was purring like a cat. At the same time, on the other side of the world, 2 ladies were having a conversation. Those 2 are both dragons and Rimuru's sisters, Valgrind and Velzard. Valgrind. This stinks, Rimuru didn't even visit me in years. Velzard. Yeah, I can feel you on this one. Valgrind. All this because of this human hero. I knew it, I should have just burned her alive. Velzard. And Rimuru would have been sad. Valgrind. Right. Letting herself fall on the table made of ice, she missed Rimuru, and since he left, Rudra has to deal with a really bad mood. As for Velzard, she can control her urge, but if Rimuru called her, she would abandon everything and go there. Valgrind. Do you know where he is now? Velzard. Well, I check on him every month. He is adventuring with a human girl. Valgrind. Again, a new girl. At this point, Valgrind was fuming. She just wanted to go there and take her brother back. Velzard. Calm down, Valgrind. He is still young and wants to discover the world by himself. It's normal. Valgrind. I guess you're right. Sighing, Valgrind calmed down, but looked at her sister suspiciously. Valgrind. And aren't you a little too vocal? She was suspicious of Velzard's attitude. The sister she knew was possessive toward the youngest brother, so her not reacting and even stopping them from going to him was weird. But then the scorched dragon noticed Velzard's smile. It was a terrifying one, a beast who just waited to be released. Velzard. I just help him grow, that's all. Valgrind. I see. Velzard. Oh, look, it's already late, you should go back now. Looking at the sky, it was already noon. It seems that while talking about Rimuru, they lost the notion of time. Valgrind. Yeah, I'll take my leave. With only a few nods, Valgrind turned into her dragon form and flew away. Deep inside, she got a little scared of Velzard. And this can be justified, as Velzard already reached her limit a long time ago. Velzard Pov. My Rimuru cuteness gauge has been empty for years now. Damn it, since when did I become so pathetic? After Valgrind left, I stayed in the same position for a while, staring at the sky mindlessly. But then anger rose in me. I gritted my teeth and smashed the table into pieces. Velzard. I'll go see Rimuru now. I got up and quickly spread my wings, but before I could take off, the door burst open, with Guy entering. Guy? Oh, are you going somewhere? Velzard. Guy. I glared at him with pure motionless eyes, making every bit of information shake him in fear. Guy. Eck. Velzard. Don't bother me, I understood. Guy. Yeah, I understand. Don't freeze me again. Stretching his arm in the air, he quickly left the room. I sighed and looked at the sky once again. I am not in the mood anymore, I'll go see him tomorrow. Just wait, Rimuru, your big sister is coming. Guy. Yeah, ain't dealing with this Velzard. Last time she froze me into a block of ice and let me freeze for days. Let's let the dance start. Chapter 10. Third Pov. Having reached Ingratia, Rimuru and Shizu decided to stay here for a while before leaving. They surprisingly felt well there, but as Shizu was hugging the cute dragon while resting in the same bed, Rimuru suddenly jumped as a cold feeling ran down his spine. Shizu. Huh. Rimuru. That aura, it's Nissan. Shizu. Nissan. On the other hand, after leaving Guy with the scare of his life, Velzard was flying at a very high speed. In fact, her movements were instantaneous. Rimuru was able to detect her just because of his enhanced sense and his soul corridor with his sister. A second later, Velzard arrived at her destination. She landed right inside the inn where the duo were staying, destroying everything around them. Velzard. Rimuru. Your favorite sister is here. Rimuru. Velzard ni. Shizu. What is happening? Having her aura released, the entire area quickly turned into ice. This was a calamity bigger than everything Ingratia has faced until now. Velzard Pov. As soon as I got there, I spotted Rimuru and hugged him. Oh, my Rimuru emitter is recovering. Rimuru. And Nissan. Belzard, it has been a while. I am so happy, Belgrand is not here, and I can feel Rimuru shaking in my arms. He missed me too. I was so happy that I forgot to hold on to my strength, and started to hurt my little Rimuru. Rimuru. And Nissan. You are choking me. Belzard. Oh, oopsie. Stopping the hug, he shrunk his size and escaped my grapes. I pouted and glanced at the girl who accompanied Rimuru. So the hero left those two alone. How irresponsible. Shizu. Iido, what is happening? Belzard. Who are you, brat? And what are you doing with my cute little brother? Glaring at her, I looked around and noticed something that turned my blood cold. They slept in the same room. Immediately, I activated the suspended world as a rush of anger rose in my mind. Belzard. You will pay for that. I formed a sword of ice and brought it high in the sky. How dare she, a human, dare take my baby's innocence? But as shocking as it is, someone managed to move into the frozen world and block my sword. Looking down, I saw Rimuru with shining blue scales hardening as it managed to crack my sword. Belzard. Rimuru. Chow. Rimuru. I don't know, but even if it's Nissan, I won't let you hurt Shizu. Roaring, I was taken aback as his body turned brighter and pushed me back. I groaned and quickly made my sword disappear, not wanting to hurt him. Because of this, I was forced to take his charge. I wasn't much bothered, as there was no way he could hurt me, but inside I was proud. He grew so much in just a few years. I smiled and caught him in another hug as his weird skill burst into me. Belzard. Calm down, I'm sorry for the outburst. Rimuru. You're so mean, Winnie-chan. I was almost crying, I was shouted at, and somehow Rimuru managed to bring me to my knees and listen to his lecture. Dirt Pov. While the scene unfolds, the world is still frozen, but even so, multiple beings like Guy or Velgren can still move. Speaking of the Scorched Dragon, she was in the sky above Ingratia in her dragon form. After feeling Velzard's aura, she immediately set sail, understanding her intention. But upon arriving, Velgren was a bit hesitant as she saw her big sister getting scolded by the youngest. Velgren. What the hell? Rimuru. Understood, Shizu is my friend, you can't hurt her. Belzard. Yes, please don't hate me, Rimuru. Looking down, Velgren wanted to see her baby brother, but with the current situation, she would rather wait a few months. Velgren. Yeah, Rimuru is still mad. I'm going to leave for now, stupid, I said. Cursing at her sister, Velgren turned away and left the scene. Shortly after Rimuru finished his scolding, Velzard turned the suspended world off. Shizu. Confused, in Shizu's Pov, she just saw a beautiful lady bursting into their room, then glared at her and suddenly was on her knees, as if crying while looking down. Shizu. What just happened? Rimuru. Nothing to worry about, let's go somewhere else to sleep. Shizu. And this lady? Rimuru. She is my sister, just ignore her. Shizu. Oh okay. Behind Rimuru, Velzard took an imaginary blow and melted on the ground. Velzard. I messed up, Rimuru hates me now. What am I going to become? She was shaking and later fell into a deep depression. That night, Ingratia saw her life flash right in front of his eyes. After that, Velzard went back to the ice continent, and Rimuru and Shizu continued their adventure. A few years passed again with nothing particular besides Shizu taking two otherworlders under her wings. Hinata Sakaguchi and Yuki Kagurazaka, she saw them during one of her adventures, and decided to train them. A part of her also wanted to be a teacher, so. In the meantime, Velzard tried to make up with Rimuru by doing a lot of things. Ultimately, this led to Rimuru ignoring her for 2 whole years before forgiving her. For 2 years, Velzard wasn't the majestic dragon she was. Instead, she was a living corpse that even managed to scare Guy. Even Velgrand, who visited her, was too creeped out to talk. And now, Rimuru is currently resting under a tree with Yuki sitting beside him. In front of them is Shizu training Hinata in swordsmanship. Opening his eyes from time to time, Rimuru took careful care to watch Yuki, as he had a weird smell. Yuki. Is there something wrong with Dragon-san? Rimuru. Don't talk to me. Yuki. But you are watching me. Ignoring him, Rimuru's attention went back to Shizu and Hinata, who had just finished their training. It hasn't even been 6 months since Hinata started, but she has already shown signs of talent, and can match Shizu to a certain extent. Shizu. Good, let's take a break there. Hinata. If Shizu-sensei says so. Sheathing their swords, they shortly after joined the boys and sat down with them. Rimuru didn't waste time and jumped on Shizu's lap for a more comfortable place before going back to sleep. Shizu. Yuki. Dragon-san likes you, Shizu-sensei, I'm so jealous. Shizu. Well, he is my lifetime companion, so it's normal. As if showing off, she patted his head while looking proud, and on the side, Hinata eyed them with a blank look. Even though she is a cold beauty, she grows to love her teacher Shizu, and secretly melts for Rimuru's cuteness, which leads her to be jealous of her teacher. Hinata. I want to pat him too. Shizu. Oh, is Hinata-chan jealous too? Hinata. Ugh. Flinching, Shizu is the only one capable of seeing through her poker face. She turned her head away while blushing in embarrassment under the laugh of her companion. Yuki. Hinata-chan is its tsundere. Hinata. Shut up. Shizu. Don't fight UTWO. This is their actual daily life. Training, having fun, and being a sort of family. This was also the last thing Shizu needed before resolving herself to become a teacher. But a year later, this peace was suddenly broken. Yuki had by then already started doing his own thing, like creating the Freedom Guild and Academy. He was supported by Shizu, so everything went smoothly as more and more adventurers agreed with the new system. As for Hinata, she had completely turned her back on Shizu and decided to go on her path, as she judged that the Conqueror of Flames had nothing left to teach her. She didn't give more reason and just left under her new family's eyes. Shizu. I hope Hinata is doing fine. It had been 2 weeks now, and Shizu was worried about her since she was still a teenager. Rimuru. You don't have to worry, Num. Sitting beside her, Rimuru was in his human form, which is a very cute little boy. He was eating a cake while comforting Shizu. Shizu. Why? Rimuru. She told me that she was going to join the Church of Riberios. Shizu. So she wants to be a holy knight. Rimuru. Yup. Looking up, Shizu stared at Rimuru as he finished his cake and proceeded to lick his fingers one by one. Shizu. You seem to know a lot about Riberios. Rimuru. Well, I lived there with Chrono for some time. Shizu. Oh, how was it? Rimuru. Fine, a little boring though, if you exclude Rumina's-san and her tendency to try to dress me up and other things. Remembering distant memories, back then Rimuru was way too innocent to know what the vampire was trying. But now he has a better understanding and more experience, so the memories just send chills down his spine. Rimuru. By the way, Shizu, what are you going to do now? Shizu. Well, I heard that more and more otherworlders are summoned, so I wish to help them. Rimuru. That's good, but how can so many otherworlders appear so suddenly? Shizu. I don't know, but my guess would be Demon Lord Leon. When he summoned me, he was searching for someone. Rimuru. I see Leon Cromwell, huh? Thinking about it, Rimuru knows about Shizu's past and how she was treated by Leon. Rimuru. Do you hate him? Shizu. Leon. Nodding, Shizu then took a thoughtful pause. Shizu. Hey, not really, without him, I wouldn't have met you or Hiro-sama. Let's say I just have some grudges against him. Rimuru. I see. The scene was followed by a silence as Rimuru suddenly got an idea. Rimuru. Nishizu, I think I'll go back to visit my sister for a few days. Shizu. Did something happen? Rimuru. Not really, anyway, I'll be back in 2 or 3 days. Shizu. Sure, be careful on the road. Giving her last hug, Rimuru went outside and turned into his dragon form, which was as large as a building now, and flew away. Shizu was still waving her hand, a little saddened as Rimuru never left her side, even for a second. This also included bathing and sleeping. Shizu. Come back soon. Rimuru Pav. After departing, I flew slowly while enjoying the view. In the distance, I could see the Jura forest where Vildor was sealed. He is still sealed. I thought it was simple to get out of the infinite prison, as you just needed to analyze and understand its structure. Well, not my problem. For now, let's visit Velzardny. Rimuru. I just hope she isn't mad at me. It has been a while since she last talked to me. The worst scenario is that she stopped considering me her brother because of last time. I don't want that. Despite tricking them so I can go on adventures, I still love them very much. I sighed and arrived at the ice continent. Should I go for the gate or just go in? Guy? You're finally back, brat. Rimuru. How are you already here? Guy? It's not the problem, right? You need to do something about Velzard. I tilted my head, confused, but just shrugged it off and entered the castle. Shortly after, I saw Misery and Rain, but they seemed anxious. What happened here? Did Velzardny get angry? Rimuru. Did something happen to Nisan? Guy? You can say that, and I wonder whose fault it is. Looking at me, I was more and more confused as I walked. What's worse is that Misery and Rain agreed with him. What did I do? Wait. Don't tell me she is mad because of last time. Now it was my turn to become nervous. I gulped my saliva as I was now standing in front of her room. The aura around the door was sinister and honestly scary. Should I go back? Guy? Well, good luck. I hope you can get her back to normal. Misery. Rimuru-sama, I too will take my leave. Rain. Yup, good luck. All abandoning me, they disappeared as fast as they appeared. I took a deep breath before opening the door. Immediately, I was met with a horrific scene. The room was covered in deep darkness, with every piece of furniture inside broken. In the middle of this was a humanoid monster who I identified as my sister. She looked like a zombie who went through the worst torture. Rimuru. Is it you, Winnie-chan? Flinching at my voice, the corpse abruptly turned to me. Two yellow orbs shone as, in a split second, the corpse managed to make its way to me and trap me in her arm. Rimuru. Belzard. Rimuru, please stop hating your Oni-chan. I swear, I won't do anything else bad. Rimuru. Yeah. I forgive you, so stop or you'll crush me. I half yelled as she sandwiched me in her breasts with this crushing hug. Slowly, she regained color and didn't look like the corpse earlier. Fortunately for me, I was able to calm her after a short or long time, and managed to get her to sit with a cup of cold tea between us. Rimuru. So, Winnie-chan, I came here to ask for a favor. Belzard. Anything for you. She slammed her hand on the table. I feel like if I asked her to destroy the world, she would do it without a second thought. Rimuru. Then can you punch Demon Lord Leon for me? Belzard. Huh. That's all. Rimuru. Yup. So can you, Winnie-chan. Using my puppy eyes skill, she immediately agreed. By the way, since earlier, I can feel that her power has evolved. Did she gain another ultimate skill? I'm so jealous, I still haven't gotten my first one. Rimuru. Did you get another ultimate skill? Belzard. Oh, you could tell. Well, yes, the ultimate skill, Envious Lord Leviathan. Pov. In truth, she obtained this skill after the scolding of Rimuru. She returned to the ice continent and for a long time hated Shizu. She was jealous of her for spending so much time with her baby brother. This led to her acquiring Leviathan. Rimuru. I wonder, what should I do to get the ultimate skill? Belzard. Well, training alone won't help you. The best way is to make sacrifices or interact with the voice of the world. Usually, it's through evolution. Rimuru. I see, but a true dragon can't evolve. Belzard. That's true, but nothing. You were directly created by Big Brother Veldanava. There is no way you are like the rest of us. Keeping this secret for herself, she knew that Rimuru was designed as a god's successor, so ultimately he would surpass everyone. But that's for later. For now, her mind went on something else. Belzard. But why Leon? Did he do something to you? Rimuru. Not me directly, but he hurt my friend. Belzard. That human girl. Her tone turned a little darker. Rimuru. Yes, so One-chan, don't forget the next time you see him. Belzard. Yeah, don't worry. Rimuru. You're the best. Smiling, Belzard was now back to normal, her eyes shining with the blaze as she planned to brutally punch a certain platinum saber. Just like that, Leon's doom was set, and this time, even Guy wouldn't dare involve himself. Chapter 11. Pov. Days have passed since Rimuru's visit, and finally, Demon Lord Leon was on his way toward the ice continent. He had received an invitation from Guy, who himself was ordered to bring him there by Belzard. The red demon could only pray as Leon entered the throne room. Leon. So why did you call me Guy? I don't have time for useless things. Guy. Honestly, besides seeing your beautiful face, I don't have much for you. In any way, this time it's Belzard who wants to see you. Leon. The Ice Empress. He looked genuinely surprised, but this feeling soon turned cold as a presence made its way behind him. Leon just had the time to turn around when a lousy punch connected and deformed his face, sending the platinum saber into the ice wall across the room. Belzard. I have to say this was refreshing, and with that, Rimuru isn't angry at me anymore. She said it aloud while smiling. The action made Guy shiver in fear. He was once again reminded of how terrifying Rimuru was. Not for his power but for his influence over the strongest beings. Leon. What did I do now? Guy. Rest in peace. At the same time, on the other side of the world, Rimuru was quietly munching over his food, while he got his cheek pinched by Shizu. Rimuru. Nom nom nom. Shizu. So cute. And thus life continued for the two. A few years passed, and the world had developed greatly, mainly due to Yuki's otherworldly knowledge. In the meantime, he also founded the Freedom Academy, which was the biggest school in Ingratia. Shizu started to teach there as a senior adventurer, giving special lessons from time to time, until a group of 5 summoned otherworlders arrived. They were still children and were bound to die. Their fate was sealed until Shizu decided to take them under her wing. But there was one thing the Conqueror of Flames didn't expect. It was Rimuru's sudden fondness for one of her students, Chloe Albert. Shizu Pov. Standing in front of this class door, I could already hear a few kids inside talking loudly. Shizu. Remember, Rimuru, those kids don't have long to live, so don't be mean to them. Rimuru. Hi. Laying on top of my head, the little dragon wasn't much interested in the situation, as he quickly dropped his head and fell asleep. I sighed and grabbed the door handle before opening it. Immediately, a few books were thrown at me. I easily caught them, earning a gasp from the orange-haired boy, while the other just stared at me shocked. I guess this is the first time they meet an adventurer with superhuman characteristics. Shizu. Okay, everyone sit down. Kenya. Who the hell are you? Quite energetic, I smiled and approached the kid. His name is Kenya Misaki, and from what the report said, he is the most troublesome of the group. Kenya. What do you want? Shizu. I said sit down. At this point, my smile widened to the point where I could probably kill some people, and it managed to scare the delinquent kids, as they all sat down immediately. Rimuru. Shizu. Scary. Third Pav. Opening one eye, Rimuru's sweat dropped and stayed quiet, not wanting to deal with her right now. But then, his eyes suddenly widened as he unconsciously scanned the room, noticing a young black-haired girl staring at him full of curiosity. Contrary to the other, she wasn't scared of Shizu and didn't pay much attention to her. The girl immediately noticed the cute dragon on top of her new teacher's head. Both the girl and dragon stared at each other. It was their first meeting, but some kind of deep bond could already be felt. Chloe. So cute. Rimuru. Chrono. But because of the current situation, they didn't dare move. It was only a few days later that Rimuru finally decided to approach the little girl, and soon, both became like best friends, always playing around when Shizu wasn't there. This also shocked the conqueror, as she had never seen Rimuru act like that, or at least in the last 10 years. He was like a big brother, taking care of his siblings and in a kind of protective way. Anyway, right now Rimuru was quietly lying down on the bed while Shizu was working. They were in Shizu's teacher lounge. Shizu. Art. This is so annoying. Rimuru. What are you studying? Shizu. Well, I'm trying to figure out a way to save the children. Upon hearing her answer, Rimuru quieted down and stared at Shizu's back. Seeing her work so hard made him feel weird. Rimuru. They have a lot of magic, so having a demon or spirit manage it for them could help. Shizu. Huh. Rimuru. What? Turning away, Shizu stared at the dragon intensely before quickly grabbing him and starting to pinch his cheek. Shizu, you already knew the solution and didn't help me before. How hurtful, Rimuru. Rimuru. I don't know, you needed. Mumbling his words while being held, Rimuru didn't seem bothered by Shizu's action. As for the girl, she didn't want to stop, as the Rimuru dragon form was too cute to let go. Shizu, thanks Rimuru, you're the best. Suddenly smiling, Shizu remembered how lucky she was to have Rimuru as a partner, a genius dragon who belongs to those you call deities in the cardinal world. Rimuru. You're welcome, I guess. Shizu. Then we shall go. I'm sure the kids will be happy too. Things accelerated as, 3 days later, Shizu organized a whole plan with Rimuru. He knew that normal people don't, and with him. She easily got to know that the Spear Queen lived in Ungracia. With that in mind, the plan was to go there, meet the Queen, and request that she summon spears for the children. Alice. Where are we going, Shizu-sensei? Kenya. Yeah. Why do we have to pack our stuff suddenly? Shizu. We just went on a small trip, so don't worry. Anyway, did you finish? Are you all ready? All? Yes. All agreed that going out for travel was rare, so all of them were excited. Particularly Alice and Kenya. As for Chloe, she was holding her book and Rimuru tight, while patting the latter's head. Chloe. Do you know where we are going, Rimuru? Rimuru. I know, but Shizu wants it to be a surprise, so I won't say anything. Chloe. Is that so? Hugging him tighter, Rimuru started to purr like a cat. Shizu. Well, it seems everything is done, then let's go. Fissing the air, the group soon departed. The travel was rather like a school field trip. They couldn't just teleport there, so the trip was made on foot. A week's worth of travel included pauses and some small activities to keep the children safe. And ultimately, they arrived in front of the dwelling of spirit. Alice. This place is kind of scary. Dale. Why yeah. Iota. It reminds me of a haunted house. With those comments, Shizu glanced at Rimuru, who nodded. This was their destination. She took a deep breath and turned to everyone. Shizu. Okay, from now on, stay close to me or Rimuru, the surprise is inside, so don't be scared. They all nervously nodded, even Chloe, who held the little dragon's tail. She was crushing him at this point, though her childlike strength couldn't harm him. After a short breath, Shizu finally pushed the large gate and entered a labyrinth presenting itself to them. Shizu. She thought about it for a moment. If they explored the whole labyrinth, it would take days, and again, she didn't have a clear limit to this labyrinth. Rimuru. You don't have to worry about this, Shizu. Turning around, every eye shifted to Rimuru. He slightly wavered, getting out of Chloe's hold, and turned into his human form, which was the size of a child. Rimuru. I know the Spear Queen, though she must have changed a lot. She took care of me once or twice. Shizu. Is that so? Alice. Whoa. Are we going to see spears? And a queen? Alice and the others who had overheard the dragon were now all intrigued. They're still young, so spirits are often regarded as either scary beings or the people who help their favorite heroes in manga or fairy tales. Shizu. Yes, Alice, a cute and beautiful spirit. Alice. Yay. Squealing happily, all fear or hesitation inside her left. Shizu. Anyway, you lead the way then, Rimuru. Rimuru. Hai. Ramrus Pav. This is so boring, I have nothing to do. Ramrus. And no one even invited me or Guy. How many years had it been since he held a Walpurgis? I sighed when suddenly I felt someone enter the labyrinth. I immediately got up and left to play with them. Haha, I'm going to give them the best welcome of their lives. Rammers. Summon lesser spirits. Doing as I said, hundreds of lesser spirits appeared. I smirked and ordered them to do it as I said. Rammers. This is going to be the scare of their lives. I chuckled and left to meet them. I also just in case prepared a golem. It would be the first time I use him. But upon reaching the scene, I froze. A small human child with blue hair and golden eyes. I at first didn't recognize him. But then his presence and aura clicked in my mind. It was back then before Milim went on a rampage, and I still had some of my power. I was already infected by her raging magic, but still, with my high vitality and life force, I managed to stay up for years after absorbing Milim's magic. Still, I remember that in those years of pain where I slowly fell from grace, Velzard had asked me to take care of her new baby brother, because she didn't trust Guy for that. It was off, but I accepted. I couldn't do much thinking, or she would have just frozen me in a block of ice. Flashback. In a faraway past, when I was still the mighty and gracious Spirit Queen. I was suffering a lot trying to resist the urge and drawback effect after absorbing Milim's magic, though I knew it was only a matter of time before I fell. But today it was different as I suddenly got a thought communication from Velzard. She never communicated with me before, outside of Lord Veldenova's request or order. So her asking me to come to the ice continent was a surprise, and what she asked me was an even bigger surprise. Velzard, let me go straight to the point. I'm leaving for the main continent for a few days and need someone to watch over Rimuru. Can you do it? Rammers. Velzard. Don't question it, I don't want Velgrin to get ahead with Rimuru, and Guy isn't trustworthy. So she chose me because I'm the only decent one. Well, I guess I don't have anything to lose by accepting. Rammers. Well, if you can trust me, can I take him with me? Velzard. Yes, but he won't leave your domain. I nodded, and we soon parted ways for a few days until the famous day came. I went to the ice continent and was greeted by rain and misery. Why don't these maids take care of Rimuru? Or is there a deeper meaning that I need the Spirit Queen to take Rimuru? Misery. Welcome, Rammers-sama. Lady Velzard has already left, so allow me to guide you to the young master. Bowing, I nodded, and we soon made our way through the ice castle, and arrived in front of an ice-cold door. Rain. Before we entered, Lady Velzard gave me this note for you. Rammers. A note. Rain. Yes, it's a schedule list for Rimuru's day. It says he has to get up before sunrise, train for 2 hours, then go eat for 20 minutes. After that, he shall train his elemental magic, and later, Lady Velzard wants you to teach him spirit magic. I deep-handed how calculated the youngest true dragon's life was. It was as if he was held hostage by the ice dragon, but now I knew why she asked me. She wants Rimuru to learn spirit magic, for whatever reason. Rammers. I see, then I'll do my best to follow this schedule. Nodding, the door was then opened, and the inside revealed to me that a small dragon was lying on a sort of bed, sleeping quietly. As we entered, the dragon reacted. His ear flinched, and slowly he rose from his slumber. Rammers. Damn, he is so cute. Rain. Right. The blue primordial was squealing. I could also see the always serious misery resisting her urge. Rimuru. Oh, are you the Lady Velzard he asked to take care of me? Rammers. Yes, I am. Now I can understand why Velzard is so protective of him, a pure and innocent baby dragon who is also cuter and brighter than the shiniest spirit. Rimuru. I see, then take care of me. Rammers. You can call me Rammers, I am the Spirit Queen. Rimuru. Then take care of me, and Rammers. Art. My heart won't make it if this continues. Stay composed, or this little kid will take control over you. After that, I took him to the dwelling of spirit and started a short life with him. He was cute and well educated, as well as curious, always asking me what I was doing. He also quickly learned my spirit magic. He wasn't a master of it, but if given another few years, he would undoubtedly be only second to me. I honestly started to enjoy his company and wanted it to never be thought of, though the clock was turning as the final arrived. I had to give Rimuru back to his true family, though I still gave him a sort of divine blessing, just in case he happened to die. Rimuru, goodbye and Rammers. See you later. The cute dragon waved his hand at me, and I returned it with a smile as his figure slowly disappeared from the horizon. I was a little saddened and hoped we could meet again soon, but fate wasn't on my side, as I never saw him ever again. Only centuries later, when he visited the dwelling with the Conqueror of Flames. Flashback end. Rammers. Wait. Rimuru is here, but how did he escape those psychotic possessive sisters? I yelled, startling the lesser spirits. But wait, if I prank them now and scare Rimuru, then he would cry and go to her sisters. One is going to freeze my soul, and the other will burn me in the deepest pit of hell. Rimuru. Oi. And Rammers, come out. Snapping me out of my thoughts, I unconsciously let out a grin. Had he noticed me? He grew a lot. I should just go meet him and screw the prank. I still want to live. With that, I just came out dismissing every order I gave to the spirit. Dirt Pov. Coming out of her hiding spot, Rimuru dashed at a blinding speed and stopped right in front of Rimuru. Rimuru. Hi, it has been a while, Rimuru-chan. Rimuru. Whoa, you grow smaller. Rimuru. Ugh. Taking an imaginary hit, the two started a discussion of their own, while the group of humans behind them watched them confused. Shizu. Is it the Spirit Queen? But she is just a little fairy. Alice. She is kind of cute, though. Kenya. We came all the way here to see this midget. Ryota. Be nice, Ken-chan. She can hear you. Chloe. She seems to know Rimuru a lot. Back to Rimuru and Rimuru. Rimuru. So let me recap. Do you want me to summon spirits for the children to save them because they have way too much magic? Rimuru. Yes, their child's body can't contain that much power, and they can't control it for now. Rimuru. I see. Well, since you asked me this nicely, I must oblige. Placing her small hand on her non-existent chest, she showed off the air. After that, she turned toward the rest of the people she had ignored until now. Rimuru. I, the Demon Lord and Spirit Queen Rimuru, will bestow on you the honor of being guided by me. Her tentative show made Shizu deepen while the kids got excited. Still, what the fairy just said intrigued Shizu. Shizu. Demon Lord. What does she mean by that? But unknown to everyone there, the moment Rimuru set foot here, the world started to change, and the showdown began. Chapter 12. Third Path. Standing in the deepest part of the dwelling of spirit, Rimuru, Shizu, and the children were all staring at the giant pillar of crystal. The true home of the Spirit Queen is a place where spirits gather naturally. Rimuru could be seen showing off her chest as a smug look formed on her face. Rimuru. Impressive, right? I upgraded it since the last time you came to Rimuru-chan. Rimuru. Whoa, I can feel even more spiritual energy now. Shizu and the others couldn't understand what they meant by that, as they weren't naturally able to feel spiritual power. Shizu. Excuse me, but is this the place where we summon spirits? Rimuru. Exactly human. Smiling, Rimuru was happy to have visitors and people interested in her worker job. She was rather lonely all this time. The group then made its way up to the top of the pillar of crystal, where a flat platform could be seen. Standing a few meters from the center, Rimuru whispered something to Rimuru, who nodded. Rimuru. Shizu, go with one child at a time. Once you're at the center, pray, and spirits will come if they want. Shizu. If they want, huh? Pondering about it, Shizu realized that there was the possibility that no spirit came at all, and this worried her. But then she saw the confident expression on Rimuru's face. This managed to calm her down and take hold of her emotions. With more courage, she turned to the children, who were confused by this situation. Shizu. Listen, everyone. Turning their attention to their teacher, the kids tensed up when a serious expression was displayed on her face. Shizu. You all were fated to die in a few months, but I refuse that, and as I promised when we first met, I'm now going to save you. The words took a full minute before reaching the minds of the children. They froze and soon broke down, not believing her words. Alice. Is that true? As Shizu-sensei isn't lying, right? Kenya. There's no way. We were told that there was no way to save us. Gale and Ryota nodded, hesitating now, while Chloe just stared at her teacher silently. Her eyes shifted to Rimuru for an instant, and she knew it was true. They were going to be saved. Tears formed in her eyes as she gripped her book tight. Shizu. People abandoned you, yet you all decided to believe in me. It's now time for me to honor this trust. Finally, the children all broke into tears. They went to hug Shizu and cry louder. The conqueror of flames startled and soon recomposed herself and returned the hug. All the warmth made her proud of herself. While patting their heads, her eyes wandered on Rimuru. The dragon just stared at them with a grin. He was happy for everyone. Rimuru. You look a lot more happy. Rimuru. Is that so? Well, this is all a whole different feeling than the one I felt with my sisters. Rimuru. I see, you changed. I guess it's just you growing. Calling you a baby or a child isn't accurate anymore. If taken by the cycle of life, Rimuru was now in his teenage years, or rather, the end of his teenage years, where realization and responsibility started to rise in his mind. He wasn't as innocent and pure as he was before. Now he had responsibilities, and one of them was to protect this small family he had formed with Shizu and the children. Rimuru Pav. After a long hug, they finally separated, and Shizu started guiding the children to summon the spirit. The first one, Gale, thought no greater spirit was coming. I know Shizu possesses a skill to generate that would manage to fuse lesser spirits to form a new greater one. But we don't have a way to gather those lesser spirits. If we had a skill that absorbs, it would be another story. I guess I have to put my fang into action. Closing my eyes for an instant, I could feel the worry of Shizu increasing as no spirit was coming. As for me, I gathered star power inside me and quickly opened my eyes, glaring directly at the uncountable spirit who watched us and waited to find a suitable partner. My glare was strong and terrifying enough to pass my message. Come now or I'll personally come to you. Simple and efficient, not even a second later, space distorted and a greater earth spirit appeared before Gale. His form was roughly one of a golem. It didn't say much after getting a glance from me, exchanging a few words with Gale. He then entered him and immediately stabilized his magic. Good. Rimuru. I never tried spear summoning. Maybe I should give it a try later. The next child was Kenya, who went ahead, hiding his nervousness through an excited grin, but inside panic unfolded. Humans always think negatively. What if everyone succeeds but not me? What if I'm left behind and die alone? That was his thought, or perhaps he wasn't mature enough yet to think like that. But surprisingly, a spirit came down on its own. Maybe they were still scared of me, so they decided to come before angering me. Anyway, this time it's a greater light spirit, which is commonly summoned for heroes. I guess Kenya does have the potential for one, and it's his dream. The light spirit was annoying and soon entered Kenya after mocking Aunt Rammers. I wanted to burn it down, but since he is willing to go with Kenya, I would rather not. Anyway, the next one was Alive, then Ryota. Both had to get force spirits, with Alive getting a sort of space spirit and Ryota a mix of water and wind. A dual spirit that's impressive if I have to say he has the same or maybe less potential than Kenya. And finally, the last one. Chol. This is the moment I was waiting for. Rammers. You look very focused now. Are you interested in a little girl? Rimuru. No, just checking something, and no, it's not her body. Rammers. The. I ignored Aunt Rammers and carefully watched as Shizu made her way toward Chloe, but before she could start to guide her toward the center, Chloe whispered something inside Shizu's ear. And then shortly after, Shizu called me to approach. I waited for a moment before going toward them. Shizu. Rimuru, Chloe is a little scared, so she needs some support. Can you act like it? Rimuru. Oh, sure. My answer made Chloe bloom in happiness as her small arm tightly encircled me. I sighed and just let her do it. We soon were standing in the middle of the pillar of crystal. Now we just needed to summon a spirit. But the unexpected happened as an unmovable pressure hit us as if the skies started to fall on us. Rammers and Shizu were startled when I recognized this presence. I looked up at Chloe, who wasn't reacting at all. Her eyes were closed. I shifted my attention back ahead and saw a spiritual body forming. The beautiful lady in a white dress had an emotionless expression, but upon making eye contact, I could feel some suffering in her. Rammers. What is that? Shizu. This. Almost speechless, both could only stare at the spiritual body until it finally started moving. Floating toward Rimuru and Chloe, Rammers quickly reacted and tried to get between them. She could feel that this spirit was dangerous. Rammers. You think I will let you do it? But as she was about to try to cast her magic, a sudden roar coming from behind stopped her. Her magic broke as she felt a sort of anti-magic getting deployed. Rammers. Huh. Rimuru. Let her Aunt Rammers. Even if she didn't want to, Rammers had no time to react to anyone. The spirit quickly approached and flew past Rammers. Shizu too tried to get in the way, but as a being who can't manipulate non-physical things, the spiritual body just flew past her body. Now that it was Rimuru and Chloe's turn, the dragon didn't look bothered at all. In fact, he was happy with his presence and figure. It was exactly what his first partner looked like. He wasn't dumb. This wasn't the hero Chrono, but part of her. Rimuru. Finally, you took your time. He flashed a smirk as the spiritual body went on. A slight smile formed on her face, and she closed her head before entering Chloe's body. A trail of her hands patted Rimuru's head before all descended. Chloe Pov. Feeling the warm feeling in my heart. No, is that my heart? I would more likely say, my soul. Limited memories started to fill my brain, my mission, and my goal. Until now, all I have been trying to do was save this world from destruction. Even so, I always felt empty. I wondered why I was fighting. For Leon Nai. Rumina's, my friend. Or maybe just my satisfaction. I don't know, but I still crept into this small light again and again, going through countless timelines. But now I feel like I have found a purpose, a being that was in no other timeline. Perhaps God had seen my despair and decided to ease my burden. Or maybe this would be my doom. What if I fail again and let my new light die? Would I be able to overcome this? Would he even be here when I turn back time again? Rimuru. So how do you feel? Snapping me out of my thoughts, I looked down. I was still in the dwelling of Spirit Rimuru in my arms. I smiled, tightening my hold on this little dragon. Yes, I shouldn't worry about this now. Rimuru is a true dragon, and a being that transcends time naturally. He wasn't there before or after because he is a unique being. From what he told me, Feldenava had created him as a parting gift for this world. My cycle inside time, the war, and everything else was in the end just a facade. Perhaps all the experience I had gathered in my travels was just for this timeline. To help the youngest true dragon, everything revolved around him. I was convinced Rimuru was the one who would accomplish not only me but what everyone hoped for. The new Star King, huh? Rimuru. MMH. Why are you smiling like that? Chloe. Nothing. I'm just happy to have met you and been with you. Did my goal change? Maybe yes. Now I just want to support Rimuru in whatever he decides to do, but I'm positive he will do great. Third POV. After this interaction, Shizu approached Ramrus and checked on Chloe. Ramrus started to complain about how dangerous that spiritual body was and how irresponsible Rimuru was. But the dragon closed his ear and kept a fake smile while listening to her rant. While this happened, Shizu checked on Chloe and was glad to see that she was fine. Her magic was also regulated. Now she just needs more checking, but everything should be fine. Shizu. Well, when we get back to Ingratia, I'll get you all a last checkup, but everything should be good. Kenya. Does that mean we're saved? Shizu. Indeed, congratulations to everyone, you were all very courageous. Emotion filled the room again, even the lousy Ramrus quieted to let this big moment go on. This day would forever be engraved inside Shizu's memories, the day she realized how beautiful it was when the hope you placed inside something finally bloomed in this rotten world. At the same time, the outside was moving. More particularly in heaven, where the very creation of God, the first primordial Feldway, was staying. Since the death of Veldanava, he has had only one goal. To revive Veldanava, his master and the one who should rule everything. That's why Rimura's existence was infuriating for him. Every being who held high authority already knew. Rimuru is the one who is destined to succeed Veldanava. That's why the angel race was split into two sides. One who worshipped Veldanava and the other who respected the god's wish and was ready to serve Rimuru if he ever decided to take the throne of heaven. Even the primordial angels were split, and an imminent war could break down inside heaven directly. The first spark had already lit up. And a choice soon needed to be made. Feldway can't just kill Rimuru, as he is a major key to Veldanava's resurrection of being created with the last remaining of his power. Feldway. I need to take over heaven first. His mind was set, same race or not, that he was going to purge the heretic who dared betray his master. And after, he would go for Rimuru, and go with the plan of his friend Michael. Feldway. Rudra should soon be gone too. Everything goes as planned. His eyes are glowing gray, the world has started moving, and his will alone will change the course of this world. Down on the ice continent, Velzard could be seen standing on a hill, staring at the faraway horizon. With a thoughtful expression, multiple things went through her head. Velzard. Rimuru is growing fast. I know I can't have him for myself, so I have to start considering. The subject she was thinking about was serious, very serious. Something that made the current strongest true dragon stuck into an infinite dilemma. Velzard. If I can't have him, I need to find the perfect girlfriend for my baby brother. Raising her fist, an ice-cold flame lit in her eyes. Her goal was now to find someone who would take care of Rimuru well, and also someone that Velzard herself would acknowledge. Velzard. That hero girl wasn't bad, but she was trying to steal Rimuru from us. The current champion he is staying at is also a no-go. This was more difficult than expected. Velzard's standards are high. Powerful, beautiful, charismatic, and much more. She only needs the very best for her brother. Velzard. I can't see anyone but myself for that role. She compiled every criterion a powerful true dragon with beauty any woman would be jealous of. But she knew Rimuru wouldn't accept that, so it was useless to put herself as one of the candidates. Anyway, this was her dilemma. Velzard. So who should be Rimuru's partner? On the other side, in the Eastern Empire, Valgrind was circling her room, deep in thought. Valgrind. Why wouldn't Rimuru like Rudra? Since her younger brother had told her of his dislike for the Emperor, Valgrind constantly asked herself why. There was no reason for him to dislike him to the point of hating him, yet Rimuru did. Valgrind isn't a fool, she knows Rimuru's talent and potential, which are bigger than any true dragon. Rimuru must have a reason if, even after maturing, he still shows distrust toward the human emperor. Valgrind. Maybe I should check on Rudra. Perhaps there is something wrong with him. This was a possibility. Besides, her attachment to the first hero decreased over the decades, as did Valgrind, who had feelings for Rudra. This version of the Scorched Dragon was gone, and now all her love and attention went toward the brother she cherished, not Valdora naturally, but the youngest of them, Rimuru. Valgrind. Yes, I'll check on Rudra, and if something is wrong, I'll leave and go live with Rimuru. The world continued to move.